Good morning. My name is Alex. I go by ThatMan, and we are going to be reading out of this most beautiful book right here. I want to welcome everybody in. I am reading out of the 12 steps every day for the last 12 days of June. Okay, so every day a new step. We're in step 4 today, and that step could be a little long, and it's very hard to understand with just reading right through it. But that's what I'm going to do in this video, so that way I could add it to the playlist, and as I read out of every step every single day, you'll be able to go back. I have a playlist where you can go back and watch each step in progression, read with me, listen to it, listen to my thoughts, my interpretation of it, and everything. For those that don't know, I am a recovering addict. I have 6 years, 4 months, and 11 days clean and sober, free from the slavery of drugs and alcohol. And this little itty bitty book right here definitely helped me understand why I got into that mess to begin with. It got me to understand who I am. I learned who I was, and with that, I was able to be myself now. So now I am myself, and my life is a blessing. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and let you know. Day one, we talked about step one, which was we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Then we talked about step two, which is where we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Yesterday, we talked about step three, which is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood them. And today, we're touching this beautiful, beautiful thing right here called Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Now, each and every one of these 12 steps are simply principles to live by. You can apply them to your life any which way you want, for any reason. And by doing so, you can ultimately live a happy and purposeful life, and a life of service, a life of gratitude. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Basically, in step 4, what we're going to be covering is um, how step 4 is an effort to discover our liabilities. Okay. It's also explaining how instincts can exceed their proper function, the basic problem of extremes in instinct and in instinctive drives, or extremes in instinctive drives. I gotta edit that. Misguided moral inventory can result in guilt, grandiosity, or blaming others. Assets can be noted with liabilities. Self-justification is dangerous. Yeah, you're always right? Like, you can never be wrong. Willingness to take inventory brings light and new confidence. This is what we talk about on the Bad Boys of Reselling Live, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're always sharing our experience, and we invite people to share theirs. And the reason being is because that's how you discover yourself, right? It's a form of taking self inventory when you can, searchingly and fearlessly, you know, take a moral inventory of yourself. We're going to be talking about willingness to take inventory brings light and new confidence. Step 4 is the beginning to a lifetime practice. Common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. Inventory reviews relationships. So the relationships you have with people and you've had with people, this is what step 4 helps you uncover about yourself, about others, and how you are in relation with them, how healthy your relationship is with them. And ultimately, and at the end, it's the importance of thoroughness, being very thorough with your moral inventory. The fourth step is one of the biggest ones because it's the one where you take the most action and you take the most diligence in. Um, it takes time, and there's different ways of doing it. The way I did it was I literally every single night before going to bed, I sat down for 45 minutes to an hour and wrote in a composition book. After a few months of every single night writing, okay, I came up with my life story and the things that I was resented about, the things that hurt me in life, the people that hurt me, and also some other aspects of my life. But there's different ways to actually practice the 4 step. There's faster ways, longer ways. I took the approach that they and suggested to me, and it took me months, and I ended up with about 3 composition books from front page, back page, all the way through, full of my basically at that point 30 years of my life. And then you continue to practice this throughout your life. Every once in a while, every year, every 2 years, you start from where you left off, and you rewrite your story again, so that you can discover yourself, right? You could discover yourself, and you could see where you've changed and how you've changed and what things you can change, right? So this is what we talk about on the Bad Boys of Reselling. I'm not Bad Boys of Reselling. It's not reselling no more. The Bad Boys Live, 9 p.m. Eastern. So go check that out. If y'all aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please take a moment, subscribe, hit the bell, and you can also follow me on all social media. Facebook, there's a link there. Instagram, there's a link there as well. And TikTok, which I don't really do anything much on there, but you can go watch a couple of my funny videos and stuff because I have fun on TikTok. So, with that being said, let me say hi to a couple of y'all. We got Susan in the building. What's up, Susan? Good morning. Good afternoon. KT Treasures. Hey, how's it going? And we got Denise. All right. So if y'all could take a moment and share this, I'd really appreciate it. That way we can, try to reach out people who can benefit from listening to this. So like I had said, this step right here is very long. So normally I get very passionate and I read things and I start going passionate with it and I start sharing my experiences and stuff like that. But if I were to do that with this step, it would take way longer than an hour. So I'm going to read, and you know what? This time I'm going to read exactly word for word. I'm not going to replace any words with anything because I would hope that y'all understand that if you have an open mind, if you've been listening these past few days, if you have an open mind, you understand it's not just about alcoholics, addicts, anything like that. You can literally apply all these principles to your life, no matter what your situation is, and you can better the quality of your life. So we got Hot Mess Drifter. What's up, Amy? What else we got Nola. Hey Nola, how you doing? And KT says she's so excited to catch me live. All right, I'm excited that y'all are here. So here we go. Step 4: made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. This principle, just that headline, um, what this principle is, we can dissect that and speak about that for days, not even hours. I'm talking about days. We can literally speak about this for days, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay. So, what's up, Flipping Sports Guy? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. So here we go. Step 4: made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Creation gave us instincts for a purpose. Without them, we wouldn't be complete human beings. If men and women didn't exert themselves to be secure in their persons, made no effort to harvest food or construct shelter, there would be no survival. If they didn't reproduce, the earth wouldn't be populated. If there were no social instinct, if men cared nothing for the society of one another, there would be no society. So these desires for the sex relation, check it out. These are the instincts, all right? These are instincts that are given to us by a higher power, all right? So these desires for the sex relation, for material and emotional security, that's 3, and for companionship, that's 4, are perfectly necessary and right, and surely God-given. Yet these instincts, so necessary for our existence, often far exceed their proper functions. Powerfully, blindly, many times subtly, they drive us, dominate us, and insist upon ruling our lives. Our desires for sex, for material and emotional security, and for an important place in society often tyrannize us. When thus out of joint, man's natural desires cause him great trouble, practically all the trouble there is. No human being, however good, is exempt from these troubles. Nearly every serious emotional problem can be seen as a case of misdirected instinct. When that happens, our great natural assets, the instincts, have turned into physical and mental liabilities. Step four is our vigorous and painstaking effort to discover what these liabilities in each of us have been and are. We want to find exactly how, when, and where our natural desires have warped us. We wish to look squarely at the unhappiness this has caused others and ourselves. By discovering what our emotional deformities are, we can move toward their correction. Without a willing and persistent effort to do this, there can be little sobriety or contentment for us. Without a searching and fearless moral inventory, most of us have found that the faith which really works in daily living is still out of reach. Yo, somebody mentioned, I remember seeing somebody talk about emotions are emotions. You can't control them. You know, they happen and you're not going to better. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Listen, your emotions, you can strengthen you can have emotional strength. I'm still working on my emotional strength. All right. I'm still working on being a little bit more in control of my emotions. You'll still feel the emotion, but the way you react to it can be different because you've built that strength. And this helps you do that. This helps you go on through life with more strength in your emotions, having a stronger emotional instinct. All right. What's up, Moke? How's it going? Good morning, everyone, she says. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. All right, so here we go. So listen up, y'all. Before tackling the inventory problem in detail, let's have a closer look at what the basic problem is. Simple examples like the following take on a world of meaning when we think about them. Suppose a person places sex desire ahead of everything else. In such a case, this imperious urge can destroy his chances for material and emotional security as well as his standing in the community. Another may develop such an obsession for financial security that he wants to do nothing but hoard money. That's greed. All right. Just because you make a lot of money doesn't make you greedy. Just because you want to, be successful in business and make money does not make you greedy. It's when you place making money above everything else. That's why the first day I ever jumped on YouTube, I had like 4 years in recovery almost or around there. And when they asked, when we talked about business, because they introduced me as a reseller, right? I was a new reseller. I had made probably like $500, $2,000. I don't know. I made nothing really on reseller. I was brand new. But when we talked about it, I told them from the very beginning, it's not about money to me. And my mom, she kind of like, she hit me up. She's like, hey, don't tell people that. They're not going to understand. It sounds wrong. It sounds wrong. I'm like, I don't care that they don't understand now. Look, 2 years later, I'm going to help you understand. If you place something else greater than money in front of your business, all right, if you have a faith, if you believe in something greater than you, if you have the willingness to change, if you have the power to the fearlessness and you're able to search within yourself, all right, and you put all those principles before money, your business is going to grow. Your relationships are going to get better. Your life is going to continue to be better, right? So I always said it's not about the money to me. And I've made money. So anyway, see, I get passionate and this is a long step. So we'll see. I'm not going to stop till I finish reading it. Going to the extreme, he can become a miser or even a recluse who denies himself both family and friends. Nor is the quest for security always expressed in terms of money. How frequently we see a frightened human being determined to depend completely upon a stronger person for guidance and protection. This weak one, failing to meet life's responsibilities with his own resources, never grows up. Disillusionment and helplessness are his lot. In this I'm sorry. I got things going on. All right, yeah, okay, stop. Sorry about that. Um, Where was I? All right. This week one, failing to meet life's responsibilities with his own resources never grows up. Disillusionment and helplessness are his lot. In time, all his protectors either flee or die, and he is once more left alone and afraid. We have also seen men and women who go power mad, who devote themselves to attempting to rule their fellows. These people often throw to the winds every chance for legitimate security and a happy family life. Whenever a human being becomes a battleground for the instincts, there can be no peace. But that is not all of the danger. Every time a person imposes his instincts unreasonably upon others, unhappiness follows. If the pursuit of wealth tramples upon people who happen to be in the way, then anger, jealousy, and revenge are likely to be aroused. Yo, this is I've experienced this. I've been this person, and I've also in the more recent times, I've had people be this way. And I pray for them. I hope that they change, and I try to show them love, right? But they don't get it. They don't get it. They continue to pursue money, and then it turns into jealousy and anger and all these things, and then they seek revenge and vengeance for things that you haven't even done to them. Those are called haters, right? We label them as haters now, all right? Trolls, you know, people who used to smile in your face but are stabbing you in the back, right? You find forgiveness for them, and that's something that's coming on day 7 and 8, all right? Day 7 and 8, day 8 and 9. Well, no, I can't remember right now. All right. If sex runs riot, there is a similar uproar. Demands made upon other people for too much attention, protection, and love can only invite domination or revulsion in the protectors themselves, two emotions quite as unhealthy as the demands which evoke them. When an individual's desire for prestige becomes uncontrollable, whether in the sewing circle or at the international conference table, other people suffer and often revolt. This collision of instincts can produce anything from a cold snub to a blazing revolution. In these ways, we are set in conflict not only with ourselves, but with other people who have instincts too. Alcoholics, especially, should be able to see that instinct run wild in themselves is the underlying cause of their destructive drinking. So, if you replace that word again, I say, all right, replace that word, all right, if you're not an alcoholic. We have drunk to drown feelings of fear, frustration, and depression. We have ate. We have eaten to drown feelings of fear, frustration, and depression. We have overworked to drown feelings of fear, frustration, and depression. We have done things, okay, to do that, right? We have drunk to escape the guilt of passions and then have drunk again to make more passions possible. We have drunk for vainglory, that we might the more enjoy foolish dreams of pomp and power. This perverse soul sickness is not pleasant to look upon. Instincts on rampage balk at investigation. The minute we make a serious attempt to probe them, we are liable to suffer severe reactions. If temperamentally we are on the depressive side, we are apt to be swamped with guilt and self-loathing. We wallow in this messy bog, often getting a misshapen and painful pleasure out of it. As we morbidly pursue this melancholy activity, we may sink to such a point of despair that nothing but oblivion looks possible as a solution. Here, of course, we have lost all perspective and therefore all genuine humility. All right, because that's all, everything that I just talked about, right? Everything I just read right there. All right, that's all pride. All that is pride. The self-loathing, the guilt, all those things are pride, and humility is the opposite of pride. And that's what the fourth step is about, is to discover what characteristics you have, the good ones and the bad ones, the liabilities and the assets, so that you can be more conscious of the good in you, so you can be more good. You know what I'm saying? Look, it says right there, for this is pride in reverse. All right. This is not a moral inventory at all. It is the very process by which the depressive has so often been led to the bottle and extinction. If, however, our natural disposition inclined to self-righteous and grandiosity, our reaction will be just the opposite. We will be offended at AA's suggested inventory. No doubt we shall point with pride to the good lives we thought we led before the bottle cut us down. We shall claim that our serious character defects, if we think we have any at all, have been caused chiefly by excessive drinking. All right. This being so, we think it logically follows that sobriety, first, last, and all the time, is the only thing we need to work for. All right. We believe that our one time good characters will be revived the moment we quit drinking, the moment we quit overworking, the moment like we think that it's all gonna be good as soon as we just stop, right? Like I remember going into recovery thinking like all I need to do is stop doing drugs. That's it. That's all I need to do with my life, and everything's gonna change. No, 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 no. If I didn't work on these principles, if I didn't implement these principles in my life, if I didn't discover myself, if I didn't, have the willingness every single day, right? I would have easily just fallen back into the drugs because it's happened before. It wasn't the first time I went looking for help, but it was the first time I went willingly, right? Just like 4 months ago when I willingly, looked for help to get healthy. And now, by the way, I'm a health coach. Check this out, y'all. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Look, you see this little thing right here? Sorry, a little pause for a break. You see that? 99%, baby. I missed one question out of 150, and I promise you I didn't miss that question. Okay? Took this exam last night. Took me a little over 4 hours of nonstop staring at the screen and reading books and doing this and that. And now I'm certified. So if you know somebody who wants to get healthy, just like I'm getting healthy and all my friends are getting healthy, and wants to join an amazing community and wants to have support and guidance, as an added bonus to the cost of food. Like you're buying food anyway. So like why not, get delicious food that's healthy and it's gonna help you burn fat, get healthy, and ultimately live a happy, healthy life, right? Like longevity, like maintain healthy habits. So, anybody? Holla at your boy. Where was I? Yep, I totally lost myself, but here we go. All right. We believe that our one-time good characters will be revived the moment we quit alcohol. If we were pretty nice people all along, except for our drinking, what need is there for a moral inventory now that we are sober? We also clutched at another wonderful excuse for avoiding an inventory. Our present anxieties and troubles, we cry, are caused by the behavior of other people. So we point the finger, all right? People who really need a moral inventory, right? That's what we say to ourselves. No, I don't need no more. No, those people need to check themselves. I'm good. I just need to stop, over exercising. I need to stop overworking. I need to stop overeating, right? I just need to stop being mad all the time. You know what I'm saying? Those people are all the way messed up. They need the moral inventory. That's what it's saying right there. We firmly believe that if only they'd treat us better, we'd be all right. Therefore, we think our indignation is justified and reasonable, that our resentments are the right kind. We aren't the guilty ones. They are. At this stage of the inventory proceedings, our sponsors come to the rescue. They can do this, for they are the carriers of these principles tested experience with step 4. They comfort the melancholy one by first showing him that his case is not strange or different, that his character defects are probably not more numerous or worse than those of anyone else in this program. This the sponsor promptly proves by talking freely and easily and without exhibition about his own defects, past and present. This is what we do the show about on Sundays, yo. This is what we do the show about. We literally focus, okay, by talking freely and easily without exhibition about our own defects, past and present. This calm yet realistic stock taking is immensely reassuring. The sponsor probably points out that the newcomer has some assets which can be noted along with his liabilities. This tends to clear away morbidity and encourage balance. As soon as he begins to be more objective, the newcomer can fearlessly, rather than fearfully, look at his own defects. Thank you, Moogie. Thank you. Boatman, what's up, Boatman? All right, guys, here we go. Yes, Mookie. Yes. At this stage of the inventory proceedings, our sponsors come to the rescue. Wait, I already read that. The sponsors of those who feel they need no inventory are confronted with quite another problem. This is because people who are driven by pride of self unconsciously blind. Okay. This is because people who are driven by pride of self unconsciously blind themselves to their liabilities. That needs a comma there. These newcomers scarcely need comforting. The problem is to help them discover a chink in the walls their ego has built, through which the light of reason can shine. Ego is the perception you have of yourself. There's nothing wrong with ego. Everyone has an ego. It's when you put pride into it that you're putting up this wall, all right? Like if you're good and everything else is wrong and everybody else is wrong, that's when ego is bad. Ego is simply who you think you are, the perception of yourself. When you put pride into it, that's when everybody's like, oh, he has a big ego. Yeah, it's a big ego because there's pride involved. So just teaching y'all things that I've learned, all right? So again, the problem is to help them discover a chink in the walls their ego has built, through which the light of reason can shine. First off, they can be told that the majority of the members have suffered severely from self-justification during their drinking days. For most of us, self-justification was the maker of excuses. Excuses, of course, for drinking and for all kinds of crazy and damaging conduct. You heard that? It even says it in there. It's not just about the drinking, y'all. We had made the invention of alibis a fine art. We had to drink because times were hard or times were good. We had to drink because at home we were smothered with love or got none at all. We had to drink because at work we were great success or dismal failures. We had to drink because our nation had won a war or lost a peace. And so it went. Ad infinitum. We thought conditions drove us to drink, and when we tried to correct these conditions and found that we couldn't to our entire satisfaction, our drinking went out of hand and we became alcoholics. It never occurred to us that we need to change ourselves to meet conditions, whatever they are. It never occurred to us that we need to change ourselves to meet conditions. We always thought that we had to try to change the conditions, and there was nothing wrong with us. But in this program of principles, we slowly learned that something had to be done about our vengeful resentments, self-pity, and unwarranted pride. We had to see that We had to see that every time we played the big shot, we turned people against us. We had to see that when we harbored grudges and planned revenge for such defeats, we were really beating ourselves with the club of anger we had intended to use on others. We learned that if we were seriously disturbed, our first need was to quiet that disturbance, regardless of who or what we thought caused it. To see how erratic emotions victimized us often took a long time. We could perceive them quickly in others, but only slowly in ourselves. The reason you can see it in them is because you have it yourself. You know that, right? The reason you can see somebody in a certain way is because you possess that too. That's the only reason you can see it. Because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't know what it is, whether you're conscious or not about it. First of all, We had to admit that we had many of these defects, even though such disclosures were painful and humiliating. Where other people were concerned, we had to drop the word blame from our speech and thought. This required great willingness even to begin, but once over the first two or three high hurdles, high hurdles, the course ahead began to look easier, for we had started to get perceptive uh, uh, perspective on ourselves, which is another way of saying that we were gaining in humility. Of course, the depressive and the power driver are personality extremes, types with which this group of this program and the whole world abound types of types with which this program and the whole world abound. Often, these personalities are just as sharply defined as the examples given, but just as often, some of us will fit more or less into both classifications. Human beings are never quite alike, so each of us, when making an inventory, will need to determine what his individual character defects are. Having found the shoes that fit, he ought to step into them and walk with new confidence that he is at last on the right track. Now let's ponder the need for a list of the more glaring personality defects. All of us have in varying degrees. Oh, sorry. Now let's ponder the need for a list of the more glaring personality defects, all of us having in varying degrees. To those having religious training, such a list would set forth serious violations of moral principles. Some others will think of this list as defects of character. Still others will call it an index of maladjustments. Some will become quite annoyed if there is talk about immorality, let alone sin. But all who are in the least reasonable will agree upon one point, that there is plenty wrong with us, about which plenty will have to be done if we are to expect sobriety, progress, and any real ability to cope with life. To avoid falling into confusion over the names these defects should be called, let's take a universally recognized list of major human failings. The seven deadly sins of pride, greed, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth. It is not by accident that pride heads the procession, for pride, leading to self justification and always spurred by conscious or unconscious fears, is the basic breeder of most human difficulties, the chief block to true progress. Pride lures us into making demands upon ourselves or upon others which cannot be met without perverting or misusing our God given instincts. When the satisfaction of our instincts for sex, security, and society becomes the sole object of our lives, then pride steps in to justify our excesses. All these failings generate fear, a soul sickness in its own right. Then fear, in turn, generates more character defects. Unreasonable fear that our instincts will not be satisfied drives us to covet the possessions of others, to lust for sex and power, to become angry when our instinctive demands are threatened, to be envious when the ambitions of others seem to be realized while ours are not. We eat, drink, and grab for more of everything than we need, fearing we shall never have enough. And with genuine alarm at the prospect of work, we stay lazy. We loaf and procrastinate, or at best work grudgingly and under half steam. These fears are the termites that ceaselessly devour the foundations of whatever sort of life we try to build. What's up, T? Welcome, welcome. You missed it. You gotta rewatch this, T. Like straight up, rewatch this. Share this. Like share this with your peoples, man. So when AA suggests a fearless moral inventory, it must seem to every newcomer that more is being asked of him than he can do. Both his pride and his fear beat him back every time he tries to look within himself. Pride says, "You need not pass this way," and fear says, "You dare not look." But the testimony of people that practice these principles who have really tried a moral inventory is that pride and fear of this sort turn out to be boogeymen, nothing else. In other words, it's not real, man. It's not real. Like the fear, right? Fear's not real, man. It's a boogeyman. It's in your mind. It's scaring you, but it ain't real. Once we have a complete willingness to take inventory and exert ourselves to do the job thoroughly, a wonderful light falls upon this foggy scene. A wonderful light falls upon this foggy scene. As we persist, a brand new kind of confidence is born, and the sense of relief at finally facing ourselves is indescribable. These are the first fruits of step 4. By now, the newcomer has probably arrived at the following conclusions: that his character defects representing instincts are gone astray, have been the primary cause of his drinking and his failure at life. That unless he is now willing to work and hard at the elimination of the worst of these defects, both sobriety and peace of mind will still elude him. That all the faulty foundation of his life will have to be torn out and built anew on bedrock. We talked about the firm bedrock in step 1. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Now, willing to commence the search of his own defects, he will ask, just how do I go about this? How do I take inventory of myself? Since step 4 is but the beginning of a lifetime practice, it can be suggested that he first have a look at those personal flaws which are acutely troublesome and fairly obvious, using his best judgment of what has been right and what has been wrong. He might make a rough survey of his conduct with respect to his primary instincts for sex, security, and society. Looking back over his life, he can readily get underway by consideration of questions such as these: when and how and in just what instances did my selfish pursuit of the sex relation damage other people and me? What people were hurt and how badly? Did I spoil my marriage and injure my children? Did I jeopardize my standing in the community? Just how did I react to these situations at the time? Did I burn with a guilt that nothing could extinguish? Or did I insist that I was the pursued and not the pursuer and thus above myself? How have I reacted to the frustration in sexual matters? When denied, did I become vengeful or depressed? Did I take it out on other people? If there was rejection or coldness at home, did I use this as a reason? Also of importance for most alcoholics are the questions they must ask about their behavior respecting financial and emotional security. In these areas, fear, greed, possessiveness, and pride have too often done their worst. Surveying his business or employment record, almost any alcoholic can ask questions like these: in addition to my drinking problem, what character defects contributed to my financial instability? Did fear and inferiority about my fitness for my job destroy my confidence and fill me with conflict? Did I try to cover up those feelings of inadequacy by bluffing, cheating, lying, evading responsibility, or by griping that others failed to recognize my truly exceptional abilities? Did I overvalue myself and play? Yo, this is heavy, yo. This is heavy. This is heavy, yo. Wow. I know I lost everybody now. Everybody's gone. Like, so if you're watching this now in the future, because right now it's June 22nd, 2021. God bless you if you made it this far. This is heavy, yo. I lost myself. Did I have such unprincipled ambition that I double-crossed and undercut my associates? Was I extravagant? Did I recklessly borrow money, caring little whatsoever it was repaid or not? Was I a pinch penny, refusing to support my family properly? Did I cut corners financially? What about the quick money deals, the stock market, and the races? Businesswomen in AA will naturally find that many of these questions apply to them too. But the alcoholic housewife can also make the family financially insecure. She can juggle charge accounts, manipulate the food budget, spend her afternoons gambling, and run her husband into debt by irresponsibility, waste, and extravagance. But all alcoholics who have drunk themselves out of jobs, family, and friends will need to cross-examine themselves ruthlessly to determine how their own personality defects have thus demolished their security. Because that's what instincts are, right? What's up, Tauber's mom? It's good to see you. Ooh, it's getting hot in here, y'all. Woo! Getting hot in here. All right. And if you're watching this later, I'm saying hi to people in the chat. Like you guys can open up the live chat and see people chatting. So I just said hi to Towers Mom. How much more we got, man? This is we're almost done, dude. Awesome. All right. The most common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. These stem from causes which sometimes seem to be within us and at other times to come from without. To take inventory in this respect, we ought to consider carefully all personal relationships which bring continuous or recurring trouble. It should be remembered that this kind of insecurity may arise in any area where instincts are threatened. Questioning directed to this end might run like this: looking at both past and present, what sex, see, because this talks about your instincts, y'all. What's up, pickup chick? Good to see you. Hey, this is heavy. All right, I'm letting you know. If you stick with this, congratulations. This is heavy. This is big. All right. Where was I, man? All right. What sex situations have caused me anxiety, bitterness, frustration, or depression? Appraising each situation fairly, can I see where I have been at fault? Did these perplexities beset me because of selfishness or unreasonable demands? Or if my disturbance was seemingly caused by the behavior of others, why do I lack the ability to accept conditions I cannot change? These are the sort of fundamental inquiries that can disclose the source of my discomfort and indicate whether I may be able to alter my own conduct and so adjust myself serenely to self discipline. Suppose that financial insecurity, this is for all y'all resellers out there, man. Suppose, glad you're here, pickup chick. It's best to face it now. We'll go anywhere, always suffer later. Yep, you're right. You're right, Bo man. Suppose that the financial insecurity constantly arouses these same feelings, all right? I can ask myself, to what extent have my own mistakes fed my gnawing anxieties? And if the actions of others are part of the cause, what can I do about that? If I am unable to change the present state of affairs, am I willing to take the measures necessary to shape my life to conditions as they are? Questions like these, more of which will come to mind easily in each individual case, will help turn up the root causes. But it is from our twisted relations with family, friends, and society at large that many of us have suffered the most. We have been especially stupid and stubborn about them. The primary fact that we fail to recognize is our total inability to form a true partnership with another human being. Our egomania digs two disastrous pitfalls. Either we insist upon dominating that people we know, or we depend upon them far too much. If we lean too heavily on people, they will sooner or later fail us, for they are human too, and cannot possibly meet our incessant demands. In this way, our insecurity grows and festers. When we habitually try to manipulate others to our own willful desires, they revolt and resist us heavily. Then we develop hurt feelings, a sense of persecution, and a desire to retaliate. As we redouble our efforts at control and continue to fail, our suffering becomes acute and constant. We have not once sought to be one in a family, to be a friend among friends, to be a worker among workers, to be a useful member of society. Always we tried to struggle to the top of the heap or to hide underneath it. This self centered behavior blocked a partnership relation with any one of those about us. Of true brotherhood, we had small comprehension. Some will object to many of the questions posed because they think their own character defects have not been so glaring. To these, it can be suggested that conscientious examination is likely to reveal the very defects the objectionable questions are concerned with, because our surface record hasn't looked too bad. We have frequently been abashed to find that this is so simply because we have buried these self same defects deep down in us under thick layers of self justification. Whatever the defects, they have finally ambushed us into alcoholism and misery. So, misery. Just you, if you're not okay. I keep saying that because I don't know. I don't know how many people alcoholics out there gonna be like, oh yay, alcoholic. It takes a lot of humility to be like, yo, I'm an alcoholic. Or a drug addict, or a food addict, or a workaholic, or whatever. Therefore, thoroughness ought to be the watchword when taking inventory. In this connection, it is wise to write out our questions and answers. It will be an aid to clear thinking and honest appraisal. It will be the first tangible evidence of our complete willingness to move forward. And that, y'all, was step 4. All right, step 4. And just so you know, step 5 is next. And if y'all thought that was heavy, wait till you get a load of this one. This one literally starts off saying, this is the one that separates the boys from the men. Let me see where to say that. Is it this one? Did I just mess up? Yeah, I think it's not this one. I think it's the next one. Did I mess up? Yeah, I think I messed up. See here? Oh yeah, no, that's step 6. Step 6 is where, yeah, but this one, either way, this is where you actually like put it out there in the world. This is the part where you actually practice sharing your story, right? Like we always do. So that's what it is, guys. That's what it is. I can't believe I read all that in like 30 minutes. It took me 30 minutes to read all that. So thank you all for tuning in, right? Again, if you got anything out of this, great. If you didn't, listen to it again. Look, I read it for you. Listen to it again, and then again, and then again. And if you really want to get into it, get yourself a little book. All right? Get yourself a little book. Read it. Read it. Just read it. It's a book. Look how quick I'm reading it. I'm reading it real quick. A little itty bitty book. Read it and see how it applies to your life, and see how you can apply these principles to better the quality of your life. Right? So, with that being said, Friday, don't know what time yet, but me and let me see. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna play this little intro right here. All right, me, my sensei or Coach Jen, Adrian, who's also a health coach, and Sarah, who's also a health coach, will be going live again talking about health, wellness, weight loss transformation. Excuse me. Getting healthy, all that good. Excuse me. Woo. All that good stuff, and you guys can ask questions, and that was actually a very fun show. This is more of like a serious thing, and I'm doing that to add it to my library of videos so that I can help people whenever they want to read or listen to the 12 steps. So this show right here that show will be going on Friday, so come tune in if you guys got any questions about health and wellness and getting healthy and all that stuff. It's gonna be fun. Don't forget to drink your water. That's what I was doing while that little video was playing. Sunday nights, Bad Boys of Reselling. I'm gonna spare you guys the well, you know what? I'll play it. You guys want me to play it? I'll play it. I'll play the outro. How about that? I'll play this outro just to say bye. Y'all can watch this and know that at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, 6 p.m. Pacific, me and Oscar go live and talk about deep subjects. We don't read from a book like I'm doing, but we share our experiences, all right, of overcoming. We tell your truth through ours if you were to listen with an open mind. And it's all to help lead you to financial, emotional, and spiritual freedom so that you can live a happy and purposeful life. So, with that being said, love y'all. Check y'all tomorrow, step 5 tomorrow. All right. And if you want to catch any of the other steps, they're in a playlist. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Love y'all. Stay blessed. All right. And don't forget, You can be good. No, you can be bad and still be good. So be good or be good at it. Peace, money, love. Um.
What you gonna do? Yeah. What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come